That's right. And Secretary Scanlon, you know, as the voting was going on through the day there towards the end, it looked like some communities did have to request more Republican ballots. What was going on there in terms of the demand that we were seeing from undeclareds going one way rather than the other?
Well, I had predicted a strong voter turnout today, actually a record on the Republican side, anticipating a lot of interest and energy, and that certainly seemed to play out today. When I visited some polling places in the Republican towns, there was a lot of traffic moving through those polling places. And towards the end of the afternoon, we started getting some calls from the moderators saying, you know, we're getting a little concerned about the number of ballots that we have on hand. Do you have any extras? And so in those instances, we did deliver additional ballots to some towns. I don't know that they actually needed them in the end, but yeah, we cut those numbers pretty close.
Yeah, and we're still in process right now in terms of allocating those write-in votes to whoever the votes were written in for. What are you hearing right now in terms of process and timing in terms of getting a final result on that?
So the process is going to take a little bit longer than it normally would with a large volume of write-in votes. However, in the hand count paper towns, the ballots will simply be stacked in piles according to the candidate. So it really is no difference whether it's a write-in or whether it is a candidate whose name was on the ballot. However, in the machine count towns, the process is going to be separate the Republican ballots from the Democratic ballots, and then go through the Democratic ballots and make sure that all of the write-in votes are pulled out and then properly counted. In most cases, the moderators have ramped up the staff and the help that they need to speed that process up. So I fully expect by the end of tonight there are going to be good, solid results for both parties.
One of the bigger picture questions that was hanging out there through this entire process was, will New Hampshire still be relevant? Will the eyes of the nation turn to the Granite State when we hold our primary outside of whatever the DNC wanted? What do you think about how this has all played out in the last week or two in terms of the attention and the tradition and everything that we've always come to expect?
I think New Hampshire is still very relevant in this process, and you know, we made the decision to go against the DNC wishes. I don't know that they really knew how to handle New Hampshire, and I would point to the fact that the DNC sent a letter to the Democratic state chair in New Hampshire telling the voters in the state that that election is meaningless, to which the AG responded that that's voter suppression. But while that was playing out, there have been plenty of surrogates coming to New Hampshire that are nationally known that have been supporting the write-in effort, but their presence here is signaling that they may be interested in running for president themselves in 4 years down the road. So New Hampshire is still very much in play. I think we won this round, and you know, we'll look forward to 2028 because I don't think the issue is going away.
That's right. New Hampshire undefeated and still first to the nation. Secretary Scanlon, thank you for your time and your efforts today.
Great to be with you.
All right.